Here's my thing. Here's my thing. What's up with the villain in the 40s? Like, they would go and rob the bank, right? And instead of it being a silent thing, like, let's be very sneaky about this bank robbery. Instead, they yell their own names and drive away, screaming, screaming who they were. Just, what was up with that? Yeah, I don't even want to do the voice. It's too late at night. It's, what is it? It's about 3:30 in the AM right now. I'm sitting, doing a bit of things, waiting for the microphone to work correctly. It's one of those things that can just be so annoying. But yeah, it was the it was the penny stealers, and you'll never catch us. Those are the time of things. They'd like yell, and then they speed off in a jalopy. Speed up in like just like an old timey car at not even 40 miles an hour. Not even 40 miles. You could almost catch them on foot, you know? The car didn't go that fast. Three. What's up with that? It's the late night episode. You know what I'm saying? Getting down into getting into the business here. Not feeling too good. I just got done crying. I thought like, you know, never mind. I don't want to tell you. Let's just watch this clip from Westworld.
Wonder, what do you really feel? After all, in this moment, you are in a unique position. A programmer.
Oh, this isn't even a good one. One sec. Rather weird. Get a lot of people projecting onto me sometimes. Can be tough to find a moment for myself. But yeah, I just got done crying. Who else? Right? Who else? Who else needs sort of like a hug, but has personal boundaries and doesn't like physical touch? Who else? Who else in this function doesn't feel quite quite right or something? I like in Westworld where he freezes the snake. Hold on. There's a scene in the show. Oh, yeah, this one. It just like freezes an animatronic snake. I thought that was cool. It's like a cool little thing.
We wanted to climb to the top of the mountain. Daddy said we weren't allowed. And then Tommy dared me.
And here we are.
Here's the thing. If I can control a snake, like a robot snake, I most likely would get into some mischief with the robot.
Nowhere land.
It seems hardly a fitting name for a place so far.
I would put the snake in places it shouldn't be. Then you see it, kind of freak out. Like, why is there cobra, rattlesnake, or
Oh,
whatever?
can't you see it?
Have no fear, snake man is here.
Perhaps you're not looking hard enough.
At what?
Then I pose, just like my arm out. Stop. And then he gets frozen.
The town with the white church. Listen, can't you hear its bell?
Yes.
Do you think I could? You think I could find my wife doing that?
Yes. I can hear it now.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Think my wife would like to get saved from the rattlesnake?
You see what a bored mind can conjure. Can't you hear its bell?
Yes. Yes. I can hear it now.
Yeah.
I might. That's how I'm gonna. It's like ultimate pickup line. Here, I'm gonna release a poisonous snake in your house, and then I'm gonna run to rescue you.
I thought you might. You see what a bored
Let's hope you don't get bit.
mind can conjure.
Please, dear God, don't get bit. You see, I can do this.
How did you do that? Is it magic?
Everything in this world is magic,
I hate the British kid.
except to the magician.
Is it magic? No. Harry Potter? Science.
Best you head home now.
But Tommy's not going to
You're
believe.
not going to come back here again, are you?
Yeah, that's right. Shut up.
Who knows intimately how the machines work, and a machine who knows its own true nature.
I understand what I'm made of, how I'm coded, but I do not understand.
This is a weird show. Bernard and Robert's character in this show is just very interesting. Just because, he doesn't have a lot of friends, and Bernard doesn't know he's a robot. So I mean, sorry to spoil the ending of Westworld, but I always like that portion of it. Just the foreshadowing, because when you find that out, it sort of changes the whole show. Meaning, this guy has a whole life outside of the park and stuff like that, where the show leads. But let's watch this. This is a very good one.
The idea of using sparkling water in real squeeze fruit is very simple.
This is how I feel doing anything outside completely. Just too much attention is called to me, and I feel so ridiculous.
I'm going to buy a car today. I'm going to buy a car today.
That's how I am at the grocery store, even.
I'm looking for Harry.
I'm looking for Harry.
Harry!
Harry!
That's me. I'm looking to buy a fine automobile from him. I'm looking for Harry.
That's Harry.
Harry!
For a guy named Harry, doesn't have much for facial hair.
That's me. I'm looking to buy a fine automobile from him.
I just don't trust anybody like that.
I just don't trust like that.
Him.
I just don't trust anybody like that.
Do you have a friendly car or one that talks?
I
Do you have a friendly car?
This is me. This is very me. Like every time I turn on the radio, it feels like, you know, I gotta shut it off immediately. I can't even ride in the car anymore.
Or one that talks?
I just don't trust anybody like that.
Do you have a
I just don't trust anybody.
friendly car or one that talks?
I just don't
Wonder what's happening in this guy's life.
trust anybody like that.
Do you have a friendly car or one that talks?
I don't trust something like that.
I'm ready to buy, right?
What's up with that?
Like that.
I'm ready to.
I like how he has like a little cup of water too. It's my favorite thing about this. Is exactly what a used cars salesman would be in my mind. Just a guy pointing his finger, holding a cup of water. You can't afford this.
I'm ready to buy right now.
Open that button.
I will not buy if you want me to get naked. I don't feel
I'm
like
not
that's
saying
appropriate.
naked.
You want to see my genitals? That's not okay. Like
I'm not
that's
saying
appropriate.
Better open that button.
Not buy if you want me to get naked. I don't feel
I'm
like
not
that's
saying
appropriate. Now.
Open that button.
He wants to know who's in the giant trench coat. Come on.
Friendly car or one that talks?
I don't trust something like that.
I'm ready to buy right now.
Open that button.
I will not buy if you want me to get naked. I don't feel
I'm
like
not
that's
saying
appropriate.
Oh my god.
You want to see my genitals? That's not okay.
I don't trust like that. Open that button.
Do you have any Skittles?
Harry's car.
Why did he ask for Skittles?
I'm 2,500.
Ah, stupid ad. No one to play ads on here. Huh? I'm gonna hit the skip on that. You hear? You hear me? This is an interesting take on modern art. I'd say this entire video is actually art that isn't sort of perceived that way. It's less of a prank, just more of an interesting observation on the nature of way those things can be.
This art hurt me! This art sucks! You're living a lie! You're living a lie! Yeah, take it down! You're living a lie!
What's horrible about this is that it's like kind of demeaning to the whole art aspect of it. But internally, it's just an observation of the way the environment can be, because it seems very serious and everything just so well put together. But this is exactly how I feel at the museum by myself. Like I don't, I go out and I go places and I visit museums. I mean, I have like a few places that I visit like once every year, but for the most part, whenever I go alone, just there'll be like so much attention on me at all times that I can't even really enjoy looking at the exhibits and stuff like that. But what's related to this is this other, you know, video here. This one. This just gets me every time. Okay. And I'm sorry that it's primarily these clips, so I'm gonna move on to something else afterwards. But just can you imagine if you actually did this in the sofa? I'd freak. I'd freak out. I would freak so far out of my mind. Not that I don't like bees or anything. I actually do like bees. Bees are cool. Bumblebees can't um actually sting you, you know? They can't. They most likely just fly around, pollinate, pollinate flowers, stuff like that. But just
Oh, these bees are heavy.
all these people on the subway, just like back from their morning commute or afternoon commute, just trying to get home.
Oh, these bees are heavy. Oh, God.
Sitting there, oh, these bees are heavy. Oh God.
Bees are not securely. Oh my God! There's a bee on my shirt!
These bees are not secure.
Oh God. These bees are not securely. Oh my God! There's a bee on my shirt!
It's just the fact that he starts screaming. It's just too much for me. I believe I talked about this earlier, but it's within presentation. Those things are so
Honey Time Beef.
But I also had another thing to talk about. It's relative to what I was crying about. Is that people in their mind and when they exist, just separately from the way that things are, there's a there's a there's a time period for everything, right? There's this and there's that, but there's never both. And when you find someone that's a bit different and like myself in many ways, it's just easier to, you know, find some sort of middle ground with the personification of what's okay with you and what may not be okay to other people or vice versa, you know? So I'll sit here just thinking to myself that if I don't take a bit of time for some sort of emotion other than what other people are perceiving or feeling or even within that portion of thinking, to like adequately place myself separate, and I end up just falling victim to the way that people are so repetitive and, like in that notion, like groupthink can often be not as helpful as just taking a bit of time um, for myself. So I don't know. I was crying about a lot of stuff, but I always like that. He's like I'm a dude. You wouldn't expect like a dude just like randomly. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't. Why is this flipping dude acting this way? Well, it's because it needs to happen. You know, and I'm like that. If it needs to happen, then it needs to happen. But for the most part, it's good advice within life to find some security in something that isn't as flimsy as someone else's perception. Because they don't know all the time, energy, the placement of mind, not even what you plan to do at all. But in that way, you sort of find at least like your own placement in the world. It's not even about what may or may not be perceived or even talked about, you know? You can't really say what a person's going through. You can narrate maybe a little bit, but for the most part, you you're not going to understand because it's not what you feel or it's not what you're going through. And, you know, for the most part, that is self-disclosure. It's what you give to other people or how you share things with others. It's a give and take. Um, More primarily, though, you would think like within that you would gain something from that sort of interaction. It doesn't always have to be that way at all. You don't gain anything from someone who's just, you know, not in the same frame of mind as you. You won't ever get through to them either about the way that you're feeling if you don't share wholeheartedly. But why would you ever do that sort of thing with someone who isn't going to understand and it's going to be twisted or even misperceived? There isn't a lot of, you know, leeway with that. So a lot of stuff just goes unsaid, unheard of, and, you know, kept to yourself or myself, just in general. It's good advice to observe those sorts of things. At least I think. And primarily, the reason why I was upset today is just I don't, I don't know. I've gone through like so much. You just have no idea. And if I were to sit down and like actually talk to someone about it, like here's a deal. Here's a list of everything, you know? And I've even written a list. It's not all of it, but it's not all of it, but it's still one of those things where if you don't ever get out of that placated ability of other people to demean what you do, who you are, where you like are in general in life, in which they can, even educationally. But if you don't ever get past that boundary and just stating and standing your ground on certain things, or even in misperception, correcting that. Um, it can be the difference between you know, someone's thoughts, how they're feeling, and even bigotry, you know, if you could call it that. But in negativity, I guess, just in some frame of mind, it's the same way. People can look at you, automatically perceive something that is wrong, or even, in the nature of the mind, something that doesn't add, to the full assumption of the brain. If you think when the mind sees something, anything, in the same way that it will create the same perceptions of, say, face in the building, a face in the wall, or in your toast, or in the building, or something like that. In the same way, it will do that. It will also reject things that don't match up within the thoughts or processes of the mind, or how a person perceives them or perceives that, you know? So, in that relative assumption, anything that isn't, um, what a person wants to see, the mind will automatically reject it. And in that same way, false perceptions and the acceptance of those sorts of things. But I don't know. TLDR, I just got upset. I want to watch this. Watch this magnet. Hey, um, did you know that spiritual mediumship is real? Did you know that, like, there's a whole separate spirit world, and within astral projection is like completely separate from the physical world? Almost like a magnetic field, but different. Here, I'll show you a diagram. Let me explain this for a second. Some people don't get this, but it's a part of life. Okay. So I have terrible nightmares. Okay. Like the worst nightmares I think anyone on earth has ever had. Okay. Like dreams where my teeth will fall out, or I'll be an animal, or I'll be lost in an underground facility and just end up starving to death or something like that. I had one where I was a person that jumped off a building and died. But, but there was like a brief moment of pain before jumping. But in astral projection, it's like a portion of your spirit that is aside from, you know, mental and physical anguish that you can control for the most part, you know, not entirely. And what's interesting about this is that a lot of people say that throughout dreams and even, projection and the spirit and soul, basically, is that there are so many other aspects of it to explore on Earth. It can, even making that assumption, you can remain connected to the environment, other people, just in general, more mindful about the way of things and the way that the world is, honestly. But terrible dreams aside, I always thought, because when I was like, I'm gonna tell you this story, okay? When I was like 4 years old, okay, just a little 4-year-old, all right, I got hit by a car, all right, going like 45, 50 miles an hour, and I was a small kid, so I always thought I'm just, I've just been dead since birth, but but yeah, spiritual mediumship, it isn't always um communication with the dead. Mediumship can mean many different things, and even in a form of like people who are more connected to those aspects of the world. Um, Here's a list of other things that have been reported. These things aren't necessarily um wholeheartedly 100% truth, but there is a lot of um research as well as psychological studies on these things. But for the most part, some people do have abilities on Earth. And it's interesting because there was this documented case of this kid who apparently died and reincarnated, and he went back to see his wife in his village. And that is just very interesting, but also sort of scary because I think that when I die, I hope that I go somewhere better than here because I don't know. I feel like as a good person, you sort of deserve to. And I hate gravity. I hate having to walk. Do you get it? I hate that there's gravity and sometimes you gotta move your legs and walk. But I mean, I should be grateful. I don't know. Just like being like a person. Why can't I fly? Right? Why am I not able to? Why can I not levitate like the magnet? Or that this this makes me mad. Okay? There's this and there's also telekinesis. Okay? That too. I would be completely fine being reincarnated on Earth if like you change one thing. All right? Just let me have telekinesis. Okay? Let me be able to pick up a coffee cup, okay? Without, let me levitate the coffee cup, all right? And I'll be fine. But it doesn't work that way. There's gravity, and I can't will the drink into the cup and pour it. Can't pour it. Gotta do it with my hands. essentially, these high-powered magnets are actually how ions and energy is observed, as well as uh, circumvent to a lot of other studies on the nature of transportation.